30. Again, if whoever speaks tonight, if they can say their name, it'll help the recorder do the minutes. So if that'll work. Hey, Marcus.
Good evening.
So, Greg, sir, can we do a roll call, please?
Sure can. Randy Daigle,
Here?
Greg Stritch here, Amy Dennis, Caitlin Dunn,
Here.
Scott Calpin, Todd Cannon,
Here.
Kevin Mafalgo,
Here.
Michael Montefort,
Here.
Jeff Oken. Jeff here? It's not. Christine DeBoni, Andrew LaPlante, Andrew Barrios, Gina Sakala,
Here.
Bill Mueller, Walter Frizzell,
Here.
Stacy Thurston,
Here.
Chris Cycli, Samantha D'Agostino,
Here.
Bruce Kellogg,
Here.
Joe Lexi, Emily Sarnicki,
Here.
Marcia Moss,
Here.
Marcus Brennan,
Here.
Nate Gingerella. That completes the roll call, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Did everybody get a chance? We're going to have two approval for meeting minutes. Everybody get a chance to review the regular meeting minutes dated December 3rd, 2020?
Mr. Chairman, this is Greg. I do have some comments on it.
Okay, thank you.
First one, under roll call, listed under present. Michael Montefort is listed under present and absent. I believe he was absent. The same
No, I was-
applies
was
for Andrew LaPlante. He's listed as present, but it should be corrected to absent. And also on all of the ATPs, the ATP numbers were not listed. I don't know if it's that big a deal, but we should have them listed. The titles are listed correctly, but the ATP numbers are missing. And also under adjournment, I made the motion and the minutes say that Walter seconded the motion. That's not possible as he's not a voting member. So I don't know who did that. That's all I
Okay.
have.
All right. With those corrections, if you can get in touch with Maya from the town and make those corrections. Are there any other? Unmute yourself.
Sorry, I was 5 minutes late. I was here.
I thought you were, so you weren't there
Who's
for roll
that?
call, but you,
Wasn't there for roll call. Correct.
Monty was there.
Okay, so he was. Okay.
All right, so with those corrections, somebody like to make a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the meeting minutes of December 3rd, 2020, as noted.
Who seconded it, please?
I did. Scott, sorry.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or corrections? If not, show of hands all in favor. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous. Regular meeting minutes for November 5th, 2020.
I did not get a copy of the revised minutes based upon the input that was given. Did anybody get a copy of those revised?
I think they just made the comment to correct them. I don't know if they, I could see if they can get redistribute them.
So you want to leave that on the table?
That's fine.
Mhm.
All right, we don't have any committee guests this evening, so why don't we move to the architect's report? For those of you that aren't speaking, if you can mute yourself, there's a couple little feedbacks that we're all getting here. So if you do want to have something to say, please turn it on and state your name and then talk.
Bruce Kellogg, JCJ Architecture. How's that, Mr. Chairman? I pass? I guess so. Everybody hear me?
Yes.
Oh, there was silence after that. Obviously, from a construction standpoint, the project's moving forward rapidly. As we've talked about over the past few months, the couple pieces, in addition to just the building construction, was the technology equipment and the furniture and fixtures and equipment packages. Obviously, those, as we've reported to you, have been to the state, approved by the state, and are in the process of either purchase orders or bidding or whatever, whichever is applicable to each package. We are now, next week, I think it's next Thursday, we're going to meet with Gilbane, go over the anticipated completion of the first classroom wing, which is by mid-February, so that students can move in. Part of that conversation is going to be coordinate what we call a punch list effort, which is to take a look at the construction of the building, make sure that everything's installed and constructed the way all of us wish, and that's obviously including Gilbane overseeing the trade contractors. But the other piece is to make sure we have a coordinated effort for the furniture delivery and the technology equipment delivery. So that will take place next Thursday afternoon, where we'll just have a big review session, make sure we got everything in place. As with any projects, I would expect that this first wing turnover, we're probably going to learn some things and fine tune it from there. And it's been a pretty aggressive schedule, as we all know. So, and with the aggressiveness of the schedule and some of the, obviously the environmental efforts that are out there and things out of our control, it just makes it more difficult. But we're feeling pretty good that as long as we have this conversation and keep the conversations going, that we'll minimize any hiccups in the process. So really from the design architect standpoint, that's where we're at. Jill, I don't know if you have anything else you'd like to add or not.
No, that all sounded great.
You're on mute, Randy.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, Jill said you did really good this time, Bruce. Good job.
I passed.
All right, anybody have any questions for the architects? Why don't we move on to the CMR report?
Good evening, everybody. Marcus Brennan, Gilbane. I will attempt to share my screen here. Okay, everybody see the slideshow?
Yep.
Thank you, Amar.
Yes.
Area BC edition. Everybody knows it was the auditorium area. So you're standing outside the exterior. The green board and the poly will eventually be a glass curtain wall entrance. The left area is a new brick veneer that ties into the gymnasium. And obviously the big structure to the right is the auditorium. At this point, it is completely erected. You can see around the top of the roof there that a parapet was put in place in the last week. So over the next coming weeks, we'll actually be roofing that auditorium and starting the exterior skin of the auditorium, which is a cement board siding. Moving inside, first pictures are of the auditorium. So left picture, I am standing basically on the tiered seating, almost in the back corner, looking at the stage. You can see the masonry scaffold is set up to build the proscenium wall. You can see the steel hiding behind that scaffolding, which is framing the opening of the stage opening. The right picture on in the back corner of the stage itself, looking in the opposite direction. Obviously, we're waiting for a roof in that area to start any MEP rough, but that'll be starting in the next couple of weeks, and that area will be moving along quickly. Staying in that addition, we also have 2 locker rooms that were added. They both over the last month have had overhead MEP rough going on, in-wall plumbing going on, and then the associated CMU to close off those plumbing chases was complete. So the right picture, you can actually see the stubs hanging out of the wall. That'll be future toilets and urinals. That picture happens to be in the boys' locker room. And then the left picture is the area where all the lockers will be. Staying in that area of the building, so I'm still in area B. This is actually the former Black Wing, standing left picture, standing almost at the entrance from the exterior, looking down the hallway. You can see MEP rough is in really good shape in this wing. The painter is actually just started in that area today. He's there mixing the paint in his buckets, and he put the first coats of block filler on the corridor the area today, and in some of the rooms throughout. The right picture gives you a good view of one of the classrooms in that area, and as I mentioned, the MEP rough is essentially 90 or so % complete, waiting for finishes to catch up so that we can start roughing into ceilings. This is a good shot of the roofing work. The white portion is obviously the new roofing that we're putting down. So it's tough to tell the areas here, but this is the large majority of area B, which is the old Black Wing. You can obviously see the CMU in front of you, which is the auditorium bump up. And then the rest of the addition tucks into the old area between the 2 wings of the building. The right brick that you see is the gymnasium, just to orientate everybody. Another shot of roofing. So you're looking at the old pool wing. You can see the higher roof on the right side is actually the old pool, future cafeteria. The low mid roof there will be the future expanded caf and fitness area. And then you can see the generator on the left of that picture that was just landed within the last month and is getting wires pulled to it now. Staying on the exterior, moving to the back. So you're looking basically the right of the picture is the gymnasium. The left of the picture is the old boys locker room, which is the future kitchen. All the exterior repointing repairs are done. New windows are cut in. New doorways are cut in. The roof edge flashing, you actually see it in progress here. That's the backer flashing that holds the roof coping on. So within the next week or so, that roof coping in this area will be on. Moving inside that wing, left picture is the kitchen itself. CMU walls were completed over the last couple weeks. Ductwork has been roughed in, storm piping has been roughed in, and we have hydronic and electrical still to do in the area overhead, and those will be coming up. The right picture is just on the other side of the kitchen wall. I believe it's a custodial storage area that'll have some water heaters as well that serve the kitchen. And again, that's part of the old boys locker room area. All right, so going outside, the left picture is you see on the left the new what we call area F, the old blue wing. You see all the new windows, all the brick around the windows has been complete. You see the roof edge. Actually, it's tough to tell in the picture, but that is permanent roof edge on the blue wing there. In front of you, obviously, in that same picture, you see in the distance the MEP addition, which has all the brick veneer done at this point. The roofing is complete. It's flapped over the edge there. You kind of see it peeling back a little bit. And you see the generator again that I mentioned in the previous picture. The right picture is your new switch board for all the new power. That actually got livened up Wednesday of this week. So we have new power to the building complete at this point. And we'll be working through turning it on first to area F, which is our first area of turnover, and then to the subsequent areas as we continue along. Staying in area F, we finally received the rooftop curb that we've been waiting several months for at this point, that the HVAC unit sits on the roof, sits on top of on the roof. So that, along with the rooftop unit for this wing, was set actually just today. And then the ductwork, you can see in the right picture on that roof, has been going on for the last couple weeks. That will attaches to that unit and drops into each of the classroom spaces throughout that wing. This is a typical setup for all three of the two-story wings that we'll do as we go along. You see a little picture here of a coil. That's actually part of the curb that we were waiting forever to get, and that's what held up the curbs. So I figured I'd share that fun story on those, but a little coil holds up a lot of work. So thankfully we finally showed up and shouldn't hold up from completing that fun time. Moving inside, you see, obviously you can immediately see the millwork. This is the second floor of F. Millwork in a large portion of the classrooms up there is complete. Countertops are in. Electrical is all roughed in. You see the light fixtures hanging. If you look close at the grid, you can see the sprinkler drops are roughed in. The VRF system is that plastic that you see hanging from the grid still is protecting a cassette that is the refrigerant system for the heating and cooling of each wing. And if you look hard against the exterior wall, there's a radiant panel that we just got in the last 2 weeks as well that we were waiting for, and now is getting put into all the classrooms. So the second floor is in very good shape from a rough-in standpoint. We're working through over the next week or two, getting final blessing to close the ceilings on that second floor. We have the lockers coming the end of this week for that wing as well. These are another two shots of a typical classroom on that second floor. You can see marker boards and tack boards going up. In the left picture and the right picture, you see a tack board on the right. If everybody remembers the clear story glass that we approved a couple months ago, we're waiting for that and being told the last pieces of the track are supposed to show up to our glass contractor by the end of next week, and that'll start coming in the week of the 18th of January. So tracking acceptable, later than we want, but acceptable to turn over in mid-February. This, I think, is my last picture. Just to give everybody a little backstory, this is a window off of area F, blue wing, onto the roof of the hub section. You can see obviously a group of people grouped around it, and it's tough to tell from the picture, but if you look, it's raining on the outside of that window. We have a whole rig set up, and we're pressure or water testing this particular window to make sure it's not leaking. As part of the specification, we have to do so many percentage-wise of the job to make sure that we're tight. And we had a commissioning agent on site today, as well as the contractors doing the work to verify this and a couple other windows, and they all passed today, so that's good news. I believe that was my last one. So any questions on the update?
Marcus, this is Greg. Are you getting good cooperation and timely inspections by the town building inspector?
We are. They are very cordial and responsive to us. Yes, they've been great.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Randy, it's Walter.
Yes, sir.
What's the turnover for the Blue Wing? Are we still on schedule?
We are still on schedule right now. We're targeting President's Day, which is that Tuesday, or excuse me, that Monday. The school is hoping to move the Friday before and the Tuesday after between the two.
Yeah, because we got 3 days off then. Perfect. That's great. Okay, that's my only question. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for Gilbane? Excellent job. Thank you very much. We move on to the owner's rep, CSG. Sam?
Hi, everyone. Samantha D'Agostino, CSG. Just a couple of quick updates. Our AV and technology bid went out. It is due now on January 14th. So hoping to get that solidified in order for us to get ready for the first phase to be turned over. We are coordinating with the school in order to get ready for the move in February, in order to move out of the swing space into Area F and then move the next wing into the swing space. So we are working with Andrew and everyone to make sure everyone knows what's expected. And lastly, we have another payment request going into the state probably within the next couple weeks. So that's all I had.
Very good. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions for the owner's rep? Excellent. Thank you very much. Let's see, the budget subcommittee met earlier today. Everything that's being presented was approved, discussed, verified, and approved by the subcommittee. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be presented to you this evening. So, Mr. Vice Chair, please take it away, sir.
Okay, thank you. What I will do is I'm going to make a motion to approve each one and then ask Marcus to elaborate in a little more detail for each of the ATPs. First one, ATP 43, bulletin number 16. There's some structural steel changes. Marcus?
Yes, so this one is for a future, or I should say the sign we're going to be putting on the outside of the auditorium. It's for some support of the head of that sign. So we're going to cantilever some steel off the canopy structure to connect to that sign that we work through over the next couple of months getting procured.
Great. Any questions? Do you want to do them all, or are you going to do?
Oh, I think we have to do each one individually. It has to get a second and then approval.
All right. I have a second from Scott. Any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Unanimous.
The next one, ATP number 44, bulletin number 09, cafe operable portion changes, a credit of $9,423. Marcus?
There's two operable partitions in the future cafeteria to segregate the area for different purposes. The fire marshal and building inspector reviewed the application and requested that the wall be shortened. Goes about 70% of the way. So there's a credit here for less material of partition, as well as they were changed to manual doors versus electric operated. So there's a credit for some electrical power there as well.
Any discussion?
Kevin, second.
Kevin, second. Thank you. Show of hands, all in favor. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Unanimous. Thank you.
ATP number 45, RFI number 205, classroom tack board deletion area F, credit $1,295.
Roughly a half dozen classes in area F. There was a typical elevation that showed a couple tack boards. In these rooms, there was actually a doorway that adjoins the two classrooms together. And the typical elevation for a classroom that did not have that door. So we purchased some additional boards that we didn't need. So it's just giving those costs back.
Any comments? Any other comments? Questions? Show of hands, all in favor. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you.
Need a second, so you can put me down.
Oh, Scott, second. Thank you.
ATP number 46, new guardrails at stairwells in areas F, G, and H, $5,487. Marcus?
The original contract document showed us modifying the existing handrails to bring them up to code. When our Miss Meadows contractor came out and reviewed the condition of the existing rails, They recommended that we completely remove the existing rails and replace with new. It was very labor intense for what they were going to do on site as far as modifying the existing. So they proposed for roughly only $1,000 per stair to provide completely new setups, and that's what this costs.
Is there a second?
Second, Scott.
Seconded by Scott. Any other questions? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
ATP number 47, RFI 244, add auditorium canopy lighting, $3,673. Marcus?
Exactly what it says, auditorium canopy lighting. There's a couple light fixtures we added to the canopy outside of the auditorium for some additional light.
Second,
Kevin,
Scott.
second.
Second by Kevin. Any other discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
ATP number 48, RFI 257, adding CMU and brick above Area C storefronts, $7,553.
This cost is driven by existing conditions. This is outside the the future fitness area. Some of the exterior brick was cracked when we got through demolition. So we reviewed it with JCJ and Michael Horton, and they recommended we take it down and rebuild it. That's the cost associated with this.
Is there a second?
Second, Scott.
Second by Scotty. Any other discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
ATP number 49, RFI number 299, Ansel system modifications, $2,227. Marcus?
The Ansel system is part of the kitchen hood. The original specification had a hood with the Ansel system and the controller set up all as one big component. As we went through the MVP coordination process, we could fit it all above the ceiling, but we couldn't provide accessible access to it for future maintenance. So this cost is to take the components that control that Ansel system and put them remote, still within short distance, but you have pipe work and electrical additional costs to make that operate.
Kevin, second.
Any other discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
ATP number 51, RFI 249, auditorium clock removal, credit $1,232.81.
Again, this one's pretty straightforward. There were clocks shown in the auditorium on the drawings. They are no longer requested. So this is a credit to not install them.
Second, Scott.
Any other discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous. Hi, Amy.
ATP number 52, moisture mitigation areas B and C, $124,878.
So if everybody remembers, last month we approved costs for area F, moisture mitigation. This is for areas B and C. So this brings us up to date on the areas under construction currently. And then we'll have this similar cost as we go through each of the areas. It's a square footage cost. So it's pretty straightforward. And we'll be performing this work very shortly in area B and C.
Kevin, second.
Any further discussion? And again, this is going to happen in each wing, not just in this one. So show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Unanimous. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that completes all of the ATPs. I will now move on to the invoices that we need to approve. The first one is from AAIS, invoice number 156-5, dated 9/21 of 2020. Invoice value $781,117.81.
Second, Scott.
Either Sam or Marcus want to give a little description of what this entails?
Sure. So this is for the demo and abatement within the building. It goes back from late August to September. So that's why it's such a large cost. It's covering all of those weeks of demo and abatement.
And we have all the backup. It's, what do you say, Sam? A little over 260 pages of backup. So,
Yep. And everything's broken out, describing what work they did on what days and all that stuff.
and when anybody goes on the site, they check into the Gilbane trailer. So, and they usually will monitor them. So, every site visit is documented and everything matched. So that's why we approved it. Any discussion? May I have a second, please? Scott seconded. Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much. Unanimous.
We have a group of 4 invoices from Independent Material Testing Labs. I'll do each one individually.
Yep,
The first one is invoice number 4707-C. This is for the period ending in September. The invoice value is $9,706.94.
And again, this is just testing the material as it's being abated. Could I get a second?
It's not for
Kevin.
abatement. This is soil and concrete and rebar, and it's not to do with abatement.
Oh, the material testing? Okay.
Correct.
Caitlin seconded.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much. Unanimous.
Independent Material Testing Labs, invoice number 4707-D. This is for the time period ending in October. Invoice value is $16,690.50.
Seconded. Caitlin.
Any further discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
Independent Material Testing Labs, invoice number 4707-E for the time period ending in November. Invoice value is $12,791.38.
Kevin, second.
Any further discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank
This
you.
is the-
Unanimous.
This is the final invoice for Independent Material Testing Labs, invoice number 4707-F for $6,012.25.
Any discussion? Have a second, please?
Second, Amy.
Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
Next invoice for JCJ Architecture, invoice number 21, dated December 31st, 2020. Invoice value $51,495.28.
Can I get a second?
Kevin, second.
Kevin, second. Any discussion? Show of hand, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
The next invoice is for Construction Services Group, invoice number 12, dated January 6th, 2021. Invoice value $22,654.59.
Second, Amy.
Any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you. Unanimous.
This is Gilbane invoice application number 15. Dated, where's the date on this?
January 4th.
January 4th. $3,086,429.41.
Second, Kevin.
Any discussion? Show of hands, all in favor. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous.
We have one change order from Gilbane. This is change order number 4. It is dated December 21st, 2020. And this is for some builder's risk insurance changes. Amar, can we have some elaboration on this, please?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. I'm Marshall Moss. Basically, with every construction project, we bring in a builder's risk policy that covers the construction activities that we perform on the project, whether it's a new addition and or work we do within the existing building. So there are still portions such as the JFK project where it's occupied by the school itself while we're doing renovations and construction adjacent to those areas. The areas that our builder's risk does not cover is the areas that are occupied by the occupants or by the school itself. So that typically is covered under the property policy, the insurance policy by the town. So that means you're going to have 2 parallel policies. One covers the construction, one covers the existing building that's occupied. The insurance agent or company that's actually hired by the town cannot provide a premium unless they also do the builder's risk policy on the construction area, which is what we're doing. So they put together a proposal. Their premium was significantly higher than ours. So the town requested Gilbane to provide a policy to cover the existing portion where it's occupied by the school, as well as the new construction. So our GMP included the construction areas. This one is additional premium that covers for the duration of construction the existing occupied part of the building. And it's the savings when they put one against the other is about $30,000 to $50,000 savings between the 2 policies. So the town elected to move forward and retain Gilbane to provide the builder's risk policy at both the construction areas as well as the occupied areas by the existing building, including the contents, by the way. So that's as well all the furniture and the equipment that's at the existing building that's currently occupied. Any questions?
No questions. Can I get a second?
By Scott.
Any other discussion? Show of hands, all in favor. Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, that completes all of the budget subcommittee activities.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair. We have nothing under old business. We do have under new business.
Mr. Chairman, as you are well aware, this committee has not had a committee secretary for a period of time, and we have a motion to approve Scott Calpin, who has volunteered to accept this position as committee secretary.
Second.
By who? Second by who?
Mike Montefort.
Well, and I just want to, for everybody that applied for it and picketed for it and knocked on my door for it, I just want to say we're sorry, but we had to make a decision and Scott won. I will return all the checks, so don't worry.
Yeah. So what Randy really said is he called me one day, says, can you really do this? Because no one has contacted me. So.
Well, it's a big responsibility.
Oh yeah, real big.
All right, do you have a show of hands? All in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you very much, Scott. Congratulations. And again, I'm sorry for all the Dear John letters that are going to have to go out. Communication Subcommittee report. Caitlin and Monty, anything new?
No, nothing new. Several posts sent out over December, and now Marcus gave me a bunch more to work on. So as soon as he sends me that, we'll get it out there. But everyone's enjoying it, from what I can tell.
Yeah, it's a lot of positive feedback. And Marcus, can you get them the latest pictures and we can upload those?
Will do. Will do.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding the subcommunication committee? All right. Let's see. We'll move on to scheduling.
Mr. Chairman, the next meeting is scheduled for January 21st, 2021. My recommendation is that we maintain that on the schedule.
I think let's keep it for now. If we do have to change it, we can. I also want to add for the record that Amy came in late, but she attended the meeting. So just
Yeah,
for the
I got that.
Thank you.
Just for your clarification, it's my understanding that we will have quite a few invoices from AAIS that will be reviewed and submitted for that meeting.
Right. As long as there's enough to justify a meeting, we'll have it. I'm not going to have a meeting just to approve a couple invoices and then but we'll keep it for now. If something does change, we'll notify everybody as we always do. And is there a second for the meeting for January 21st?
Mike seconds it.
Mike seconds it. Thank you. Any other discussion? Show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Thank you, unanimous. We'll move on to committee comments. Anything from the liaisons?
This is Walter. I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. Keep up the good work. Thank God the weather is on our side, so I'm assuming we're plugging away with whatever we can to keep this project on schedule and under budget. So, thank you.
All right. Committee members, anybody have any comments committee-wise? Anybody have anything good to the order? Any good positive news? Okay. Well, as Walter said, the weather's really in our favor for construction. They're plugging away. They have a full staff. We haven't hit any major roadblocks that weren't able to be dealt with, so let's keep that going. With that being said, anybody care to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Amy seconds it. Could I get a show of hands, all in favor? Anybody against? Anybody abstain? Well, thank you guys very much for taking the time, and stay safe. And we will see you all in 2 weeks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thanks.